Hello and welcome. We're about to dive into what feels like the ultimate real estate juggling act, figuring out how to sell your current home and buy your next one all at the same time. It can feel like you're walking a high wire, for sure, but with the right strategy, you can turn that balancing act into a smooth, confident walk right to your new front door. So let's get into it. Right? This is the million-dollar question. You're thinking about the timing, the money, the logistics. It is a lot to juggle. But please don't worry. The key here is just to understand your options. In this explainer, we're going to walk through some of the most common, proven strategies, lay out the pros and cons for each, and help you find the absolute perfect path for your situation. All right, let's kick things off with our first major strategy, buying your new home before you even put your current one on the market. Now, this approach can be incredibly convenient, no doubt about it, but it's really best for folks who are in a pretty strong financial position to begin with. So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You find a home you absolutely love, you buy it, and you move in. It's only after you're settled that you start thinking about selling your old place. This is really ideal if you have the cash ready to go, or if you can comfortably qualify to carry two mortgages at the same time, even if it's just for a little while. Okay, let's talk about the trade-offs here, because they're pretty clear. On the pro side, the convenience is just fantastic. I mean, you don't have to worry about temporary housing, you can move on your own schedule, and you can get your old home looking absolutely perfect for showings because you're not living it anymore. But the flip side is definitely that financial pressure of owning two homes at once. That can be stressful. So how do you actually manage that financial risk? Well, you've got some tools. You could use something called a bridge loan or a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, which basically lets you borrow against your current home's value to get the down payment for the new one. And of course, working with a great agent to time everything just right is absolutely crucial to make sure that mortgage overlap is as short as possible. Okay, on to our second option. This one is all about building a safety net right into the process. This is probably one of the most common strategies out there, and it's really all about creating a domino effect, where one thing has to happen before the next. So a contingent offer basically says this: I absolutely want to buy your house if and when I successfully sell my own. This is the go-to for most people because it lets you tap into the equity from your current home to buy the next one. It directly connects the two deals, which protects you from ever owning two homes at the same time. And here's the real heart of the matter with a contingent offer. The pros? It's all about safety. Your financial risk is super low. But the con? Well, it's a big one. Your offer is just less competitive. If you're in a hot market where a seller has multiple offers, yours has this extra little question mark attached to it, and that puts a lot of pressure on you to get your own home sold, and fast. So what can you do to make your contingent offer a little more attractive? Well, for one, have your home completely ready to go live on the market the second your offer gets accepted. And price it smartly to get buyers in the door right away. And here's a great little pro tip. New home builders are often way more open to these kinds of offers because they're working on longer timelines anyway. Now, let's completely flip the script with our third option. What if you sell your current home first? This strategy is all about getting that financial certainty and putting you in a really, really strong position when you're ready to buy. So with this approach, you list your home, you accept an offer, but you can ask your buyer for something called a suitable housing contingency. It's this great little clause that gives you a set amount of time, say 30 or 60 days, to find your next home before the sale is final. It's a fantastic way to take all the guesswork out of your budget. The upside here is just massive. You know exactly how much cash you'll have in your pocket, you have zero risk of carrying two mortgages, and when you go to make an offer on a new place, you look like a fantastic, strong buyer. The only challenge? That clock is ticking. You've got to find that new home within your timeline, and that can definitely feel a bit rushed. The key to making this strategy work is all about preparation. You should already be out there looking for your next home while your current one is on the market. And look, if you can't find the perfect place in time, you can always shift gears and plan for some temporary housing. That gives you the ultimate power. You're basically a cash buyer at that point. Okay, now let's talk about a couple of really flexible strategies that are designed just for managing that tricky time in between selling and buying. Think of these as powerful tools you can use to help you control the timeline, rather than whole game plans themselves. So, what have we got here? Well, first is a rent back. That's where you sell your home, but you get to stay and rent it from the new owners for a month or two. It's super convenient. The other option is moving into temporary housing, like a short-term rental. Now, that does mean moving twice, but it completely separates your sale from your purchase, which gives you the most freedom possible. Honestly, no matter which way you go, it all comes down to planning. If you think a rent back is for you, you've got to negotiate those terms right up front as part of the offer. If you're going the temporary route, get that rental booked, call the movers, and reserve a storage unit way ahead of time. It will save you so much last-minute chaos. Phew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? Buying first, selling first, linking them together with a contingency. So how on earth do you pull all this together and figure out which strategy is actually the right one for you? This little table is a fantastic way to see it all at a glance. You can see that buy first gives you the most convenience, but it also comes with the highest financial risk. A contingent offer lowers that risk, but it also lowers your power as a buyer. Sell first is kind of that sweet spot. Low risk, high buying power, but maybe a little less convenient. And then the rent back and temp housing options are really tools to help you manage that transition. And that brings us to the most important point of all. There is no single right answer here. The best strategy is deeply, deeply personal. It really just comes down to taking a good, honest look at your finances, your timeline, and, frankly, your own personal comfort level with risk. And the good news is, you don't have to figure all this out by yourself. As it says here, every move is unique. The best way to approach this is always as a team, working with a professional who can help you weigh all these options against your own goals and build a solid step-by-step plan. At the end of the day, successfully buying and selling a home at the same time isn't about luck. It's about having a clear, smart strategy right from the very beginning. So the question is, which path makes the most sense for you? A great plan is always the best place to start.